So here's why I think building success is the same thing with building muscle. So I recently got into working out, you know what I'm saying, calisthenics and all that basic stuff, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, calisthenics is really attractive to me for some reason, you know what I'm saying, the way a lot of people could just like pull themselves up and, you know, make it a human flag, whatever, you know what I'm saying. That's amazing. So I got into calisthenics, and obviously, you know, before you get into something, you did a lot of research, right? You know what I'm saying. You have to do a lot of research, and I did a bunch of research from, you know, how to do basic moves in calisthenics to like how do I build muscle with calisthenics, right? And then I found 3 principles that I think that, bro, this is literally the same thing with building success. And I'm gonna tell you what the principles are and how I think those principles can actually be applied to both building muscle and also building success. So first thing first, consistency. They will always tell you that you have to be consistent. Like, that's facts, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to build this type of muscle, you have to do this, you know what I'm saying? You have to do this every single day, every single month, every single week, whatever, something like that, right? So consistency is always a topic. But why consistency? Well, the reason for that is because obviously we know that building muscle is not really an overnight thing. You have to build muscle. You know, I said that's why it's called build muscle, building muscle, because you have to build the muscle. Because even if you want to build a building, you can't build a building overnight, you know what I'm saying? You have to build them with a bunch of people, and it probably will be finished in like 2 years, right? That's the same thing with building muscle, because it's called building muscle. It's not an overnight thing, and the only way to do that is to do that every day consistently. Well, obviously when it comes to working out, you can't really do that every day. You have to have rest days and everything. I get that, but in general term, in broader term in life, when you want to build something, you have to do that shit every day. You have to show up every day. You have to do that consistently until you eventually get the thing that you want. The best salesmen that you know, the best doctors, the best editors, the best entrepreneurs, whatever, like, they do the thing that they do every day, every single day since they started. I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, I don't know. The best editors that you know, they edit videos every day until they eventually become one of the best. Any respective field in the world, the reason that they're the best at what they do is because they do that shit every day, and eventually they become good, right? You don't cover 5 kilometers by walking in just like 5 minutes, but if you keep putting one foot in front of the other every single time, eventually you will get to your destination. So take the steps, put in hours, put in the work, and eventually you'll get there. And the second principle is progressive overload. And I think this particular fitness principle is always applicable to any type of situation, especially when it comes to building success. When you're working out, right, if you want to build muscle, you can't lift the same weights every day, because if you want to build muscle, you have to do progressive overload. You have to make the workout harder so the muscles can be bigger. Is how it is. And I think this is the same thing with building success. In order for you to be good at something, you have to do that every day consistently, but also you have to strive to be better every single day, every single time you do it. So for example, I edit videos, right? If you look at my first video, I mean, my first video is not really on this channel, you know what I'm saying? It's my first video is literally like I posted it like 10 years ago, and obviously I deleted it, whatever. But if you look at that video compared to what I do now, it's so different, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously I literally gradually level up my skill, you know what I'm saying? But maybe the first thing that I do usually when it comes to editing, I learn how to cut videos, I learn how to put text over them, something like that. And obviously that's the basic stuff, but eventually I have to learn about things like maybe like motion graphics, or maybe some little bit of 3D cameras effects, you know what I'm saying? Especially, or maybe like VFX, or maybe 3D model if you need the skill, right? So don't just do it consistently, but also try to be better every single time, and eventually you will become one of the best. And the third thing is nutrition. And I feel like if you were to compare that to building success, it's the same thing with investment. Nutrition, you know what I'm saying? You have to invest protein in you, you know what I'm saying? So you can do better in the gym, or you do better at calisthenics, or whatever you do, you know, so when it comes to building muscle, when it comes to building strength or something like that, right? Same thing with building success. If you have business, if you have skills that you want to do, obviously you have to invest in yourself. You have to learn how to do that skill. Or maybe you have a business, right? And you run your business, and now you build audience or customers, and now you have profits, and eventually you have to invest your profits into your business so you can scale your business, you know, so you can make the business bigger. And that's the same thing with building muscle. You can scale your business the way you scale your muscle, you know what I'm saying? So put investment into your body or into your business, and you can scale it, you know what I'm saying? So that's how it is. And I feel like this applies to everything. For example, like phones, you know what I'm saying? Back then, phones don't have nothing. Phones don't have like any screen, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Phones literally, you know, that's why a lot of rappers back then, they use this type of like sign, like hand sign, to kind of like to represent a phone, right? And back then it's literally just maybe like the numbers and like the speakers and like the mic, and that's it. But now we can literally open Instagram, we can open like a website, and you can do a lot of things with phones, when back then you can't even do that. You can't even text, you know what I'm saying? That's the same thing with the world, you know, any type of like aspects of the world. Imagine if humans never progress. Imagine if humans never do what they have to do consistently, or making progress, you know what I'm saying, doing progressive overload, or invest in themselves. We will not have the things that we have today. We're probably not gonna have phones. We're probably not gonna have computers. We're still riding horses instead of of driving cars, or maybe we'll still probably like sending letters instead of like FaceTime. Same thing with our life, because we can literally see these examples in other people's life. For example, like Jay-Z. If Jay-Z don't try to do the thing that he wanted to do consistently and making progress overload and invest in himself, bro, he would never be like the business mogul that he is now. He's probably still selling drugs on the street, you know what I'm saying? Or if Jeff Bezos never try to scale up his business, he's probably still selling books in his garage. And this is literally the exact same thing that I'm doing right now. I do it consistently, I'm making progress, and also invest in myself. I might not make videos every single day, but every time I'm done with one video, I always jump into making another one. So it's how it is. So I hope, you know, one day I could be one of the best editor on YouTube. I can make one of the best videos on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? So it's how it is. So if this is the start of you building a success, just remember the street principles, and hopefully we will get to the place that we want to be. I'm Ryan, and I'll see you next video.